biggest question I get asked is, how do you start the process of TRE? So we'll get into all the TRE and everything else, but could we just start there? So if somebody's watching this now and they want to begin doing TRE, how would you suggest they start the tremoring process? Because that seems to be the main question.
Sort of the normal way to initiate this reflex, the neurogenic tremor reflex, that's what we call the tremoring response, is typically, if you were just going to begin without any warm-ups, what I would have any given person do is first lay on the floor, get comfortable, put out a mat, things like that, and take at least a few minutes of just kind of relaxing. Now, if you know about doing a body scan, or if you're already a breath work person, or you have some, or a yogi, and you know what sort of doing some body scan during shavasana is, it's nice, in my view, to take a couple minutes of sort of settling into your body, connecting to breath, noticing what your baseline sensory awareness is. So not just jumping immediately into, I want to get my body tremoring. So in a way, can we get a little bit of a parasympathetic downshift first is, in my view, very helpful. So after you've kind of settled in, your heart rate has slowed a little bit because your muscles have softened because you're laying flat on your back, then now you're ready to go through some movements that are going to wake up the tremor reflex. And so positionally, what we have a person do is they first come into what we call the open butterfly position, which is just feet together, knees open in a comfortable way. Some people put supports under their knees. It's just meant to be a hip opening, inner thigh opening sort of position. We pause there for a bit. We often do a little bit of breathing just to help the body soften into that open shape. And then the active thing we do is we have people do a bridge where they lift their hips and pelvis up off the ground. Now, normally in a, gym class, you do a bridge and your knees are up. But in this case, it's kind of an awkward position because your feet are together, your knees are open wide, and you do the bridge with that wide open position. So you have kind of a narrow base of support. Imagine my hands are your feet. So it tends to get a little wobbly. Your muscles are working, so you get a little shaky. Our advice is to sort of relax into it, pretend it's an easy thing to do, and sort of breathe into the experience, and just holding that lifted position until it becomes a little bit challenging. And my view is, when it's like a little bit annoying and you kind of don't want to do it anymore, that's plenty. Come on down. Then you're back in that open shape again. You pause there. You let your heart rate settle again, come back into sort of a nice parasympathetic response. And then the magic happens as we start to bring the knees up incrementally. It's kind of like closing a book step by step, or closing a clamshell or something like that. So your knees have started open, your feet are still together, kind of like in a soul to soul position.